Okay, so this one is even harder. So I think you kind of think of this as a little game. You know, the game is keep squared UVs, if you want to keep it that way. I know it's a very boring game to some. Some students hate UVs. I mean, they literally will avoid them like the freaking plague. But know that you should definitely learn them. It's one of those things that are going to haunt you until you do. Here's a sometimes easier way. Here's these edges. If I go control right click to edge ring utilities, to edge ring, control right click to faces, I now can highlight all those faces going all the way around without even leaving the perspective window. Okay, so how do I do this? I could attack it via the cylindrical mapping. Okay, so let's attach the material to it. See what that looks like. So it's a big old train wreck. If I go to UVs, grab the top one first and do an unfold. Next one down. Unfold. Next one down. Unfold. And etc. and so forth. You might find they're a little bit square. They still have this texture detail problem. Okay. I like to unfold in little stages though. I don't like to go for the full Monty. Okay. There we go. So it is a very unfoldy thing to do. And you will have a huge texture seam. Okay. Again, you know, with a shape like this, however, you're going to have to do something. And, you know, I would say this is probably a good scenario for that something to happen. When you're starting to getting into shapes like this, you're getting into more organic type UVs. Okay. Where you're not going to be able to get everything so perfectly lateral like this, or, you know what I mean? Like everything is flowing perfect, like etc. and so forth. But you still get the squared textures. So this is a very starting to get into organic UVs, which is a whole different ball game sometimes. Not that the rules go right out the window. It's just, you know, we stretch the rules a little bit more. Not that there's and not that there's a whole lot of rules. It's just, you know, good etiquette with texturing. Let's highlight all the faces again. Hold control right, just click and drag. Faces. That'll deselect those and keep the bottom faces lit. Again, this is what we're going to do is we're going to do a planar map at the top. So just know that, you know, we're still going to get a lot of the whole mix going on with planar map and cylindrical or others. So in this case, yep, same size as this, yep. And together we scale them down. Okay, there we go. It's about as good as we're going to get with that shape. And I guess with this shape, I can really hit home on the evils of automatic mapping. So I can go like this. I'm going to just make a copy of this, and this time instead of doing all that, I'm just going to do an automatic mapping and see how it turns out. Okay. The difference is this shape only has one texture seam. That's very apparent. Okay. This one has one on this, and maybe one on the bottom, one on the top, but one very apparent seam on the side. And I can see that by right here. You can see how it flows this edge. You can see this edge is my texture seam. This one has probably 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the top, and then 6 at the bottom. So 6 texture seams, somebody's going to see that. And that's why automatic mapping kind of sucks. So, you should just, there's a perfect example for you. So the name of the game is not to get too many texture seams involved and utilize the space over here. All right. So that was that shape, a little bit differently. And let's go on to the donut.